But speaking of getting back on the train, right? We're going into our game balls, and you already know who it is. It is Rain Dakota Prescott, the quarterback of America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Dude had himself a game. And I understand it's against the Giants. They're not very good, but this still is a phenomenal game, right? 26 for 35, only missing 9 passes, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns, got 17 of them on the ground and another thing on the and another one through the ground, scoring on the ground himself. That's 5 total touchdowns, about 120 total yards. Dude was on something else, and he has been for a couple weeks now. I think his name, on a hot take, I think his name should be in the MVP conversation. I'm not saying he is the MVP, but he definitely has a right to be there. The dude's doing things.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously he's been playing well against teams that suck. That's
He played well
typical.
against the Eagles too. Hold
That's
on, timeout.
typical. That's typical Dak. Dak puts on a show against non-playoff teams and then does not play well against the actual playoff teams. So this is typical Dak. Not surprised. So great for him. Great for the Cowboys. But this doesn't impress me at all because this is what you should put up against the Giants. What is impressive though, I'm dipping with you, double dipping with the Cowboys here with my offensive game ball, and that is C.D. Lamb.
Ah,
Um, and not so as much as what he did this past game, but what he's been doing. He is the first player, this was crazy,
yeah.
first player in NFL history to have 3 straight games of 10 or more receptions for 150 more yards. I was shocked when I saw that stat. That just seems like somebody has had to have that. But I guess,
Yeah.
it's straight games, right? It's the consecutive games that get it. Um, this is What's weird is because CeeDee Lamb has not been this. I'm questioning things because he has not been this good in his career in the Cowboys. He's had some issues dropping the football. He's kind of overcome those. It's kind of been there. But this is what they envisioned him when they drafted him. They got rid of Amari Cooper. They drafted CeeDee Lamb. This is what the Cowboys envisioned. They just haven't been able to realize that potential. Was that Kellen Moore? I don't know, but obviously they're leaning into it. It's like it's a shocker what happens when you make your best player on your best receiver at least,
Yeah.
the focal point of your offense. Like good things happen, right?
Yes.
Arthur Smith, are you listening? When you have elite players, give them the ball. Good things will happen. And so, CeeDee Lamb, making history, basically just putting up these ridiculous numbers, crucial in playing, for his team to win, even when they're losing, even when they lost. Like he still had a game, like doing his part, right? He can only catch the balls get thrown to him. He's doing his part. So really impressed with CeeDee Lamb so far this year. Best year so far in his career. And so yeah, so my offensive game ball double dip here with the Cowboys.
Whoa, I think this might be the first time we have teammates as game balls. Congrats, Dallas. Show out against bad teams. We've had teams play. We've had teams play bad teams that haven't showed out, so it's important to show out against the bad teams too. But all right, defensive side of the ball, we're going to Greg Newsom II, the Northwestern first-round draft pick, right? Big Ten guy. I think the reason he wins this, it should be no surprise. He kind of sparked the comeback, a 34-yard interception return for a touchdown. This guy kind of sparked that Browns victory and saved my picks. So congrats, Greg Newsom. When I pick you to win and you do something like that, you're gonna get a game ball.
Yeah, that was the tie. That was what turned the game around. Um, yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a game that has had both teams have had a pick six because the Ravens had one early, and then the Browns had one. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I don't think either. That's
Two pick
interesting.
sixes, one for each team. So that was fun. Yeah, so great. Yeah, so great win there. We kind of already recapped that. So let's go ahead and my game ball on defense is going to go to the Houston Texans defensive standout for this game, Sheldon Rankins, who had 3 sacks, 2 tackle for loss, and 4 quarterback hits. He was making Joe Burrow's life miserable as the Texans went into Cincinnati and walked away with a win. This was one of those games that came down to a last-second field goal. CJ Stroud, another game-winning drive to get his team a win. Texans are looking so good. That defense has been impressive. Pretty much shut out that Bengals offense the majority of that game. But even in the end, the Bengals should have won the game, or I shouldn't say should have won the game. There would have been time left, but um, they really threw that game away and dropped that game away. I mean, if we're being honest, because the Texans really tried to give them a game too. CJ Stroud, his first really rookie mistake, like he had 2 fumbles and he had that interception that set up for the Bengals to score a touchdown to kind of get back into it after they were up by 2 scores. So they tried to give the ball back to the Bengals to win, but then Joe Burrow decided to give the ball right back to 2 uncharacteristic interceptions by Joe Burrow. One, he throws for the tight end, it's high, gets intercepted. Then he goes to throw into a double covered Boyd in the end zone, not even close, and it gets intercepted there. So very questionable, throws there by Burrows. But even that being said, with a minute left, has a wide open Tyler Boyd in the end zone, and Boyd drops it. They have to settle instead of getting the game-winning touchdown, they have to settle for the game-tying field goal, which then gives CJ Stroud and the offense of the Texans to go down the field and score a field goal and to win the game. I was laughing because I remember, so the AFC Championship game last year, Tyler Boyd was injured. He didn't play. And I remember after the game, he had tweeted or said in an interview or something like that. He's like, if I was out there, we would have won. And so that was immediately what I was thinking about whenever he dropped that pass. It was like, if you were out there, you'd have won. Probably would have dropped it. Crucial loss. Obviously, you don't want to say it's all on one player because it's a team sport. But I think whenever you're in the position where you're able to catch a pass, your job for a touchdown to win the game, that you are the reason your team lost.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like I understand it's a team game, but like if you catch that, there's like a 90% chance you win, right? And so, like, to me, like, you could say, you should have scored on more points. Joe Burrow shouldn't have turned the ball over, all that stuff. But whenever you have the opportunity there to catch the ball wide open in the end zone for the win, and you don't do it, then I got to say you're the reason why they lost.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough. Right, yeah. I agree with everything you said. And also, I picked the Texans, so way to go, Tyler Boyd.
You're right. So
another one.
They're so great. So the Bengals were like, I was on the Bengals were, I didn't think maybe the best team in the NFL, but they were the best team in the AFC at that point, how they were playing. Up to that point, I thought they were playing extremely well. You look how they played against the 49ers. Like, they had been playing extremely good football. Some of the best football that we've been seeing so far. And then they just kind of came out and fell flat. Couldn't beside that first drive, they walked down and scored. They could not get anything done until late in the second half. 2 fourth-quarter interceptions. Opportunity there to win still. So it still proves they're still a good team, but just a loss. So, a tough loss there by the Bengals. Obviously one that they want to have back. But 4th place in their division, it's going to be tough to climb out. It's going to be tough to climb out of that, especially when you still have to go through the division, which we already talked about, where very rarely does anybody sweep in the division. Usually it's always a 1-for-1. So it'd be tough to come out of that. Also another AFC loss. Yeah. So anyway, but Sheldon rankings, obviously, go back to the game ball. Kind of got all on a tangent there, but really, really putting the pressure on them. So shout out to you, Rankins, for putting that pressure up there on that D line and sealing that victory.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. Really, really good job. D'Amico Ryan says that defense ready to play, and Sheldon Rankins is a big contributor on that defense every week.